Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I was asked the question the other day, how did I get to the place where I'm at? So I'm just going to take a few minutes to share just a little bit of my journey and how I got from where I was to where I am now, and just kind of share some nuggets and lessons that I learned along the way. By no means am I at where I want to be. I still have a lot more to learn. Many areas of my life I need to grow in, just like all of us. We're all on a journey, trying to just live a happy, better life. And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter where we are in our journey. What really matters is the fact that we go through it, and we go through it well. We learn the things that we should learn. We use all of life's experiences to kind of take us to the next level, to get into contact with who we were created to be, our true self. Because I firmly believe there is a plan for your life. There is a purpose for your life. You were created with a whole matrix of temperaments, gifts, talents, passions, desires. If we can utilize all those and focus on all of those different things that are inside of us and bring it together, we'll be able to live the life that we were created to live. And so, once again, by no means have I accomplished or attained that place where I could finally, just rest and go through life and just coast through life. But what I can say is I am extremely happy. I went from a place where I was always focused on the things that I needed to do and trying to achieve and achieve and achieve. And when I really let all that go and just began to live this life where I focused on happiness and love, things began to change. I was able to just be, and in that being, really my life began to change. But I do want to share just a few things with you of how I got from where I was to where I'm at now. The number one thing is my relationship with God. The minute that I knew and had an experience with God and understood His love for my life, His love for me as a person. I mean, there are so many people in this world, all over the world. God specifically loved me. And when I came into contact with God, the Creator, I was 19 years old. I was kicked out of my house. My life was falling apart. I was addicted to drugs. I was just living this crazy, wild lifestyle. I was in the middle of Clove Lakes Park. I stopped dead in my tracks. I was getting ready to smoke a blunt. I stopped dead in my tracks, and I just looked up and I said, I can't live like this anymore. What is life about? And I just started yelling up at the sky and talking to God. If this being, this imaginary thing that so many people talk about, God, if you're real and you do exist, I need to know, and I need to know right now. My life is falling apart. Show me the way. And I kid you not, I tell this story all the time. It was like, it wasn't neon lights, and it wasn't a voice from heaven that came down, but it was love and peace, mostly love. I had this peace come over me, but it was love that shot into my soul and let me know that no matter what, I felt like no one loved me at that time. I felt like my family didn't want to have anything to do with me. My friends didn't want to have anything to do with me. But it was in that moment that God said, if everyone abandons you, if this whole world turns their back on you, I will not. And so this love shot into my soul, and it was in that moment that I said, wow, there is a God. And that was the beginning. I was 19 years old. That was the beginning of this crazy journey that I've been on for the past however many years. That was 2000. So for the past 15 years, I've been on this crazy journey of learning and growing and changing, and my life, self-destructing and putting it back together. So the number one thing that I would say that got me from where I was to where I am now is God. It's my relationship with God. And the bottom line is, God wants to have a relationship with you. And this is not a religious thing. The creator of the universe, the person who fashioned the stars, and the person that created flowers and things that, all things that you could think of that are good, the person that created the earth and the sun and the galaxies and all from the universe all the way down to quantum physics and the smallest particles and how crazy all that gets, that person wants to be in relationship with you, specifically you, and really get to know you, and you get to know him. So it's an amazing relationship that has changed my life. I think the second thing is that I've always been able to reinvent myself. When my life would fall apart, or when my plans would fall apart, when I would be doing something and I thought that was it and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and my whole world came, crumbling down and falling apart, I was always able to figure out a way to reinvent myself. And I believe the same goes for you as well. If you feel like your life has fallen apart, if you were on one course and, maybe you went to school for a specific career, or maybe you just been in school for a long time, or maybe you recently gotten fired from a career, or the thing that you thought you were going to do for the rest of your life, it's just boring. It doesn't make sense to you anymore. You want to get out of this dead-end job, but you put so much time into it. I would say, and this point kind of coincides with the next point, I would say reinvent yourself. Figure out a way to reinvent yourself when your life seems like it's falling apart, because the truth is, if you're in relationship with God, that falling apart isn't really a falling apart. It's an invitation to reinvent who you were created to be, for you to get closer to your life purpose. It's really this big, beautiful artwork, and the art is your life. So be willing to reinvent yourself. And so the next point is take risks. You'll never accomplish anything in your life if you're not willing to take big risks. So, I can give you story after story after story where my life fell apart. I was able to reinvent myself and willing to intentionally take big risks to get to that next level, to get closer to happiness, to truth, to freedom, to who I was created to be. So take those risks in your life. If you're thinking about, hey, maybe I should start this business, or maybe I should quit my job and do something for less pay, but it would be more meaningful to me. Take the risks. Take those risks. When you have that something inside of you that's telling you to do it, when you have that, that inclination, when you have that thing in your spirit, that thing in your heart that's telling you to do something, do it. Follow that path. Don't play it safe. The people that are going to play it safe in their life, those are the people, and I really hate to say this, but those are the people in the future that will be replaced by robots. I know it sounds a little weird and futuristic, but the bottom line is, in the next 10 to 15, 20 years, there's not going to be a middle class. The middle class are being replaced by robots. And it's a fantastic study, and I kind of cut my teeth on the future and just looking into what's coming. If you're not able to be entrepreneurial, and I don't mean necessarily just starting businesses and, being able to raise capital and things like that, but you have to look at your life like it's an entrepreneurial endeavor, to be able to take risks. And that leads to the next point that I wanted to make, is creativity. You have to find a way. Well, I don't want to say you have to. These are the things that have proven true in my life. When I was able to step out of the box and look at things in a different way, look at things creatively, and to take the risks to try those creative things, I found that I was successful. Not everything that I've done has worked. I've failed at more things than I've been successful at. But the bottom line is, there are those few things that I was able to be successful in that have enabled me to live a life of freedom, to live a life of happiness, to live a life of truth. And so when you take those risks and you step back and you see what everyone else is doing, and you try to think more creatively, and try to create things in a more creative way, your life is the most amazing work of art. So when you feel like your life is falling apart, reinvent yourself, take the risk, and think creatively, all while you're stepping into this relationship with God, because the truth is God does love you. God does care about you, and he will lead you. He will show you the way. You're not here alone. You're not here by chance. There is a reason for your life. And I believe if you step into that reason, into that purpose, you will live a more fulfilling life. And once again, it's not about religion. Religion, I don't want to get into it. That's a whole nother subject. But you know what? The truth is God does want to be in relationship with you. And those times in your life where you feel like things are falling apart, it's really an invitation to get closer to who you were created to be. If you will take the risk and think creatively. Your life is a work of art. Anyway, hope this video inspired you in some way. Just wanted to share some of my thoughts of how I got to where I am, how I got from where I was to where I'm at. And once again, I can tell you a 1,000 stories to back all of this up. But that's my story. So, hey, if you want to weigh in, you could, I don't know, wherever you're finding this, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or any one of the other social media links, comment. Let me know what you think about this. If you have any other questions, I'd love to kind of just do some more of these videos and answer your questions. So if you want to get more specific on things, shoot me a message, respond to this in the comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.